want to do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you want to do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast.
Come? Alright, I'll do my own bit for myself.
Oh! Oh wait, no silence!
We're doing it! Get off the road!
How's that?
I don't know how's that, but I do know that I had a good delivery of the joke that got ruined. Thanks, Steve.
Welcome back, Steve!
I don't know how it's worse now that you're here.
I tried.
Well, since they haven't heard it yet, hey chat, what do you call
Hang on.
a
What do you mean, hang on? Okay.
what do you call a large mountain-dwelling member of the bison family that's having a hard time falling asleep? An insomniac.
Yeah! Even better the second time. Thanks for the pillow.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna go take a nap now.
Hello, no, you don't get to nap until I get to nap. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I'm Boater.
I'm Dave Man.
I am sleepy, but I was gonna say something more, but I lost it in the sleep fog. How you doing, Dave?
Doing great. Welcome Wern G in chat, and welcome Taco Pill, and all of you folks who have tuned in. Doing great. Really looking forward to this week of news, gaming, and things, because my God, has Microsoft really kind of stepped in it, but not really. A lot of video games, things like that, and all this going on.
Yeah, well then, with so much to look forward to, I guess we'll start off with, as usual, our Twitch ban. A Polish streamer, content warning, harm to animals, as long as I have hand up.
Hang on.
Oh, we have a thing?
I can do this.
So not like intentional, but like still sad.
Harm to animals. Our
Yeah.
producer's going to add a little custom warning. If you are, if you do have an aversion to stories of animals coming to harm, intentional or not, when the words "content warning" disappear, we will have been finished talking about it.
Yep. And I see something up there, so I will get started on this.
Thank you so much for the follow, Werngy, and welcome, Erica.
Awesome. So Polish streamer Sideniuk, after an IRL stream from their car, and they were responding to messages while driving, and apparently hit a dog. That is a clip that like went viral, went around all over. They were very quickly banned for like whether or not they actually hit a dog. Like there was stop, get out. How many dogs were there? You know, how many are here? Get back in, drive away. Like regardless of whether or not an actual animal was hit, that is still distracted driving. Do not check chat on your phone while driving. Like do not stream while driving. I mentioned a Tom Scott thing to you before the show about the wrestling thing, whatever. He did a video on how much your thought process while driving slows down while you are trying to present. And like he used to do bits to camera all the time while driving. He does not anymore because like it went really poorly. Like, you know, he was on like a test course and, you know, I think ran over a simulated, you know, oops, I hit a kid. So maybe I shouldn't talk to the camera while driving. Distracted driving is bad. And it is bannable by Twitch TOS.
Another case of if you had just read TOS, you would know that that's not what you're allowed to do on the platform.
Yeah, it's not that hard to read TOS. I mean, it's big, it's intimidating. I will admit, I've never gone all the way through, but I know don't do dumb shit is kind of how it can be summarized. So
It's a long read, it's a dry read, but if you think to yourself, can I do this on Twitch? Open the TOS page, click the word find, and type the thing you're going to do.
Control F, drive. Oh, nope, distracted driving. Can't do that. Better not check chat.
Control F, bannable offenses.
Because maybe you hit a dog, maybe you hit a pothole, whatever it was. It could have been a dog. It could have been a person. Maybe next time. Don't do it.
Another living being was harmed because of your stupid actions. Enjoy your ban and enjoy having that on your conscience for the rest of your life.
So that's that.
Dumb.
Thank you very much, Steve, for the content warning up there. That was the ban for this week. So that's someone that did a dumb the past 7 days. Dave, what do we have to look forward to in the next 7 days?
So mark it down, Boater. 2/21/2023. We are talking about a game coming out for a
That's today.
new console.
Is it the
Tomorrow.
Stadia?
No, unfortunately, the Stadia has
Dave,
long since
tomorrow
been
is the
dead.
22nd.
I know.
You said 21.
Yes, today we're talking about it.
Okay, I understand. I suppose continue.
And so the trailers will be presented to you in crisp 5K 16 dimension Nerd Vision.
It's like that little window up there that, since our stream is like 1080, that's like 720
So
and 30 frames a second, but it's fine.
this is not the trailer to the game that I asked for, but it is a trailer to the device in which you will be using for the first time to play it. Firstly, much love to you, Ozzy, and I hope your health improves. But this is on the 22nd for the PlayStation VR 2, Horizon Call of the Mountain. You are a first-person adventure on a linear path. We were able to explore as other first-person adventure games on various VR devices do. It's gotten nothing but positive reviews thus far, and considering it's a gimmicky setup, the whole, these are your character's hands, and this is how you move around.
I mean, that's kind of standard with how it does with VR.
Yes.
The thing is that it is a really good launch title for the PSVR 2. And again, by using the Horizon IP, that is absolutely stunning in third person. First person, there's such scale to the game, it works so well for VR. Like, one thing with VR that works really well is when there's such a disparity of scale that can't come across on a screen. And so, like, looking up and seeing the tall neck towering above you is one of those, like, iconic moments that once you actually play it in VR, you get it.
Fortunately, this is a VR game developed by Guerrilla Games, so it does have the hallmarks and the makings. You said PSVR, and my ADHD instantly went RSVP. I hate it here. Gran Turismo 7 gets VR update today as well, which is good considering tomorrow, if anybody wants to give me $600, I will use it for various bills and things, and then eventually I will buy a PlayStation VR 2. But that's coming out. Definitely check it out. And to confirm, you will see characters past and present in the VR2 game.
It's not like a continuation or direct. Like,
Nope.
You don't need it if you've just been playing in 2D, but there are plenty of Easter eggs for you playing in 3D if you have played the other Horizon games.
Well, thank you, Eric. So that is Horizon Call of the Mountain for PlayStation VR 2. If you have a PlayStation VR 1, you've kind of missed the window to trade it in before it becomes worth less.
Yeah. Okay, so Erica went with RSVP. Meanwhile, I keep wanting to say PS2 VR instead of PSVR 2.
No, that was PlayStation Move.
The PlayStation 2 VR. It's like a Virtual Boy, but blue. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, Griff Kuba, thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate it.
I got you $1.
You know what? Again, for St. Jude's, I'll dance for $1.
I'll give you $2 not to dance. Anyway, what else? PS2 VR is my favorite elf from Lord of the Rings.
I love it. If you have witty isms, please make sure to throw them in chat.
Except one of those triple dots over probably the U, but...
The next game, coming out on the 23rd. It's a Rumble. It's a Ravage. It's coming to PlayStation 4 and 5, Windows, Xbox One, the Series X, and not on the 23rd, but in the future, the Nintendo Switch. It is 12 races fighting in the form of 2 teams, 11 players, and the goal is to kill, maim, injure the opposition to win the Blood Bowl. That's right, folks. The single multiplayer game based upon the Games Workshop intellectual property of the same name, Blood Bowl 3, is coming out for all of the major consoles. I am very excited because this game has now implemented the new second edition rules for Blood Bowl, and they have implemented a 2 minutes per turn implementation because Boder, I don't know if you remember me playing Blood Bowl or Blood Bowl 2.
I have no familiarity with this at all, and I am fascinated. Please continue.
It is football in the fantasy universe.
I see.
And, so the past times when I've streamed this game or played this game, games could take up to 2 hours if everybody took the entire time they were allotted for their turn. Fair to say it is a strategy game, and you have to move each piece individually at once. So it wasn't like many of the games were being dragged out, but the fact that they've chunked it down to 2 minutes per turn, they did add a bank per game of 7.5 minutes, where if you need extra time, you could take extra time, but after 7.5 minutes of extra, you get the 2 minutes and that's it.
Yeah. So it's a turn-based game.
Yes.
Interesting. Like, looking at it at first, I thought it was like Fantasy Madden.
I mean, it is, but it's literally a digital version of the tabletop game.
Yeah, it's a tabletop game that was probably played turn-based, so it's more literal. It's interesting the choice that a developer has is, do you bring it in that turn-based style that is loved, but you give it the full graphical treatment, or do you decide to bring it to a different gameplay genre, like just make it a Madden-style real-time game, but with the spirit of it? And they clearly went with the former, but I think that both of them would have been, they probably had a lot of time to discuss, like, what do we want to do with this? What do we want to accomplish?
The formula for this one has been tried and tested. Now that is the third installment. But this one, you can now play Black Orcs, Chaos Chosen, Chaos Renegades, Dark Elf, Dwarves, the Elven Union, Humans, Imperial Nobility, Nurgle, Old World Alliance, Orcs, and the Skaven.
Welcome, Love Alec, and thank you for the lurk.
Thank you very much. You'll be able to choose your different characters. You'll be able to level up your teams, have different abilities occur with each team. Highly recommend you check it out if you're a fan of it. I would recommend watching someone else stream it if you haven't seen it played at all, and ask people questions, or stop off at your local Warhammer store, because they would love to tell you about how to play Blood Bowl, because guess what? It's transferable.
Nice.
And changing over from gritty and killing over to cute, pink, and I dare say, squishably fluffy. Coming out on the 24th for the Nintendo Switch, the return of Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. A game that was originally supposed to be released in 2005 for the GameCube, and then it got delayed because they wanted to be able to put it out in the best format that they could, as Nintendo does. And they delayed it till 2011 and came out on the Wii. It's 1 to 4 players in a Kirby adventure like no other. I know what you're asking. What does the deluxe mean? Because it's just a port of it, right? They've added a new ability to the game styles. They've added a comic book art style to the overall game. and they've added new sub-games to be played. So even after you beat the story, you can still pick up this game and have some fun with your friends and family, as you do with Kirby. If you haven't played Kirby's Return to Dreamland yet, just know, here's a plot synopsis. It's very short and it doesn't give anything away. Help Magalore get home? What could go wrong? 5 ship pieces, 120 energy spheres, and 1 Master Crown. So, Boater, have you played a lot of Kirby?
I've not actually played, no.
Okay.
I mean, I've watched a lot of gameplay of Kirby games, but I've never actually played myself.
Do you think you could name, because it's 4 players,
Okay.
when you play more than single player, could you guess what the other 3 characters are? It's not Kirby, again.
Okay, it's not like Recolored Kirby.
No. It's not like Yoshi's Tale, where it's like, I'm the green Yoshi, and I'm the red Yoshi, and I'm the purple one. Like,
Are they characters from Kirby games, or is it like other Nintendo characters?
it's just from the Kirby franchise.
Then I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Okay. So, because I was going to ask you, Kirby, King Dedede, Meta Knight, all
Okay,
characters
yeah,
you know
these-
and love. But
Yes, these are characters that sound familiar, yeah.
I'm going to poop on somebody and chat, come at me. Oh, wow, Erica got it. I'm guessing Dedede, Waddle Dee, and Meta Knight. Because
Hey.
I'm going to say this up front. Who picks Waddle Dee? Really? Our producer's raising his hand.
Got a bandana. It's adorable.
You know who else had a bandana and was kick-ass? Solid Snake. Give me him instead. King Dedede,
Let's get Solid Snake in the Kirby
Meta
game.
Knight,
Let's do it!
and Solid Snake. He's not doing anything. Erica very angrily accepting the fact that Waddle Dee is cute. Waddle Dee is cute, okay? Cute, but that's like the your little brother's character. You know what I mean? When you all gather around, you're going to play the video games. Waddle Dee is the character you give your third friend. They also, your fourth friend. They
I was
also
going to say the third. Hold on.
they also get the controller that definitely works.
They get the Mad Catz controller circa 2002.
Waddle Dee would eat Snake for breakfast, literally, says Erica. That's fair. That's very fair. More like rigor mortis with the subscription for 32 months in a row. You wanna read the synopsis?
Our sub-speech development is happening fast. It is good at walking downstairs. There are better motor skills, and teething is happening.
Oh God. Oh. As somebody who gets bitten by kids often, yikes.
That is more like rigor mortis' subscription. Just latched onto you now.
What up, Vladdy? Thank you so much for the lurk, by the way.
So many
And
friendos.
welcome, everybody. Thank you so much. Our sub likes to bite, Dave. I am sweet and delicious.
Who doesn't?
It's fair. It's fair.
Anyway.
And this one, and these ones.
Oh my.
Yeah. But that's all the games that are coming out in the next 7 days that I felt were worth to yammer at you guys about. But did I miss any out? You guys let me know in the comments and make your voice heard in the official insane games Discord down below.
I was gonna go server with you for the full Discord server, but like the one you left out anyway.
Amp with a plug for Sons of the Forest.
Okay.
Amp, if you want to give us a synopsis, we would be glad to read it here on the program. I'm trying so hard to not to make this into a dumb sub joke. Lord help me. Bite Dave should be a St. Jude's reward. I think that's against the St. Jude's ambassador.
Yes. Not to mention probably Twitch TOS. You would know. You've read it.
I mean, it does specifically mention no self-harm or things like
But
that.
if I bite you, that's not self.
That's very true.
It's like one
But-
of those dinosaur things that you like press the button and the mouth closes.
Oh, so like my niece.
Exactly.
By the way, those new dinosaur toys, full scamus, please, producer Steve. Those new Jurassic Park toys are exactly the same ones that we got when we were young. Steve, you're too young to remember those toys because you got the bad ones. We got the good ones that when the mouth sprang shut, if your finger was in there, gone finger, no more. And the blood was everywhere. My niece has so many of those dinosaur toys, and they are very painful, and I love her dearly.
From Steam, sent to find a missing billionaire on a remote island, you find yourself in a cannibal-infested hellscape. Craft, build, and struggle to survive alone or with friends in this terrifying new open-world survival horror simulator. Find a missing billionaire. Pfft, leave him there. Other than that, sounds good.
As long as the billionaire's name isn't... Is Bobo a billionaire? Bobo!
Listen, there are
Bobo, are
plenty
you a
more-
billionaire?
There are plenty more objectionable.
What else can I help you with?
There are plenty more. Anyway.
Screw you, Bobby Kotick.
Dave, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been up to playing IRL Paint Your Friend's House Simulator and IRL Move Your Friends In Simulator. It's been a lot of fun. I've been winning. But Taco Pill, that's exactly what he would do if he was here with us. But doing that, having a lot of fun with it, playing some Overwatch, and then getting really, really excited for tomorrow's stream where I purchased apparently the only copy that our local GameStop got. And I only know that because the guy walked in and the guy goes, "Weren't you looking forward to playing Wild Hearts?" And I go, "Yeah, man, that's really cool. You remember that?" And he goes, "Yeah, we have one copy coming." He goes, "You might want to snag that." And I was like, "Oh shit! Like, yes, please." Like, so good on you, Queensberry GameStop. Much love to you guys, and thank you for the copy. We're gonna be playing that tomorrow, and I cannot wait to get my filthy hands on it. But Overwatch 2, the most recent event, they re-added Hanzo's arrow ability, where it's basically a multi-arrow.
Okay.
He shoots one, and it breaks out into many pieces. And I just look at me while I'm talking about this because it's important if you're playing. The multi-arrow bounces off of surfaces to do the most damage possible. Don't fire the multi-arrow at somebody and hit them because then it doesn't multi-arrow. It's just a singular standard arrow with a cooldown a bit on it. It's bad. It's bad, and I hate seeing people doing it that way because it's bad. But outside of that, I have been on the quest for a copy of Theatrhythm Final Curtain Call.
Right.
And I have not been able to find a singular copy in 3 different towns at several different Targets and GameStops. So pray for me that I find $50 and then I find a copy of it. Boder, what have you?
Well, I was falling asleep at the start of the stream because last night I was playing Timberborn until 12:30. I have the colony exactly how I want it. Everything is fine. But then I'm like, I'm not ready to leave these guys alone yet. Like, they're fully self-sustaining. You know, 9-day drought comes along, kills some other stuff, but my colony's just fine. I'm like, I want to build this, and I want to divert water over here and build up a levee there. Why not? So Steph went to bed at like 10:30 and was like, don't stay up too late. I'm like, yeah, I'll be up shortly. He did not, in fact, come up shortly.
Boda did not, in fact, come upstairs shortly.
I've also still been working on Far Cry 6. I finished the second story area, El Este, and got into the third one that I was going... You can go to these in any order that you want. You can do them all simultaneously, or you can kind of like, I'm going to do this one, then this one, then this one. And I did Madrugada first, and then El Este, and now I'm doing Valle de Oro, which sucks because I don't like any of the characters. Ah!
Oh.
It's, you know, I mean, after this is going to be Esperanza and it'll be fine, but like, I'm okay. Just stop talking. Tell me what you want me to do and don't talk to me.
Oh my god, I had that all day Sunday while I was playing Pokemon Scarlet. I literally was like, every time, I was like, are we, like, I understand when you first meet a character, they have to dramatically flourish and introduce themselves. Totally fine. Part and parcel comes along with Pokemon. But then, like, in the middle of the battle, in between each move, they're like, wow, that was super effective. And I'm like, this is the Elite Four. If I'm learning about super effective moves now for the first time, you have done the game wrong or you have cheated somehow. Like, and so I literally was like, shut up, insert name of character. Like,
You need a turbo button.
I do have a turbo button. It's this one.
Yeah, and watching, not much new. Bad Batch was good, ended on a cliffhanger. Seems like the kind of thing that, like, So the previous week they released 2 episodes at once because they were like a pair of episodes that like led into each other. The previous episode ended on a cliffhanger, definitely leads into the next one, but they released it on its own. So I'm not positive what their release strategy is with Bad Batch, but I am enjoying it. In reading, I'm still working on the same book, the title of which I forgot. Closed in Common Orbit, maybe? It's the third Wayfarer's book. Still working on that. There's one scene I'm not looking forward to. I remember very little about the book. I don't even remember where the plot kind of arcs to generally, but there's a specific scene in my mind that is just like, this guy commits a major social faux pas. And so the entire time I'm reading the book, I'm like nervous that the next chapter is going to be that one. Even though it's a book, if I really wanted, I could just skip the chapter, but I won't.
I'm very glad that the literature especially is holding on to that like suspension of disbelief, and like you're in there in that moment. Like,
well, I also just like, I get that like secondhand embarrassment feels awful. Feeling really like I don't sitcoms. I cannot do any sitcom basically because of that. Like, this is just a grown adult making an ass of themselves obliviously. I do not find enjoyment from this. And so like this is one like, oh, an innocent mistake here but still a faux pas, and then the chapter moves past it, but it's just the one part of the book that I remember clearly apparently it traumatized me. And I'm just not looking forward to it. But once I'm past it, I'll be fine. And I've got a 4th book in that series that I haven't read yet to look forward to. So,
nice.
So there's about 4 minutes left to place a prediction, and by that I mean a vote for what we should eat. The options are Cherry Jubilee Mint Thins, the Mystery Box, and grass? ?
Make sure to vote with your channel points. Wonder, how do people get channel points to be able to vote?
If you're here and you've been chatting, whatever, you're getting channel points just by being here and being present during streams.
But Boater, how do I buy more channel points?
You don't?
Oh, it's not a monetization thing?
No, it's
Buy an account with a ton of channel points on it, but that's expensive and stupid.
Welcome back, Steve.
what if Okay, Golden Girls is one of the few exceptions to like things that I can watch. Like that is perfectly acceptable. There's styles of humor that are fine.
Erica, I'm very jealous. Put 12 hours into Final Bar Line and perfected Waltz of the Moon for Final Fantasy VIII on the hardest difficulty because I'm deranged. That's amazing, and I cannot wait for the ass whipping that will happen when I callously go like, and now we're going to ow! All
right, Dave, I've got a news story, and Steve, be ready with that, but don't bring it up yet. This has a chart in it that is probably going to make you sad, which is why we'll try something after this news story.
Okay.
When we'll see, whatever. Clark's World magazine is a well-regarded sci-fi publication. It's launched the career of many writers.
Yes.
And today it had to stop taking submissions due to a massive influx of AI-generated stories. Neil Clark woke up to 50 AI stories in his inbox for submissions and said, nope, not today. Released a statement, spoke to a few different sources, including Kotaku, where I read it, and said, like, it's clear that business as usual won't be sustainable, and I worry that this path will lead to an increased number of barriers for new and international authors. Because, like, people, like, actually want to submit things, but people are just flooding it. When I say flooding, Dave, what do you think a chart would look like if it shows bans from people submitting stuff over time as it gets close? Like, what kind of, like, try to draw the curve for me.
I will
You can
gladly.
you can just.
Oh no, I have markers and chart. You've
Okay.
come to the right channel and
So
the right person.
in
for
a
visuals.
chart going back to June 2019, you can just draw like a trajectory of.
Okay.
So banning, like, this is including stuff from AI generated, like ChatGPT, but also like other reasons that people might have been banned.
Okay, so I'm gonna say here's June, and then here's just.
Okay, so a pretty linear up like that. Okay. Steve, do you want to bring up the image now?
Stonks. Hey! Hey, I was sort of right.
No, you said a linear thing from 2019, and it's basically nothing. Fewer than what, like fewer than 25 up until like the end of last year, and then 50 in December, 110 in January. And Dave, that last one on the page, like look at that and realize that that is February, the shortest month of the year, which is only 3/4 done.
There we go. Fixed it. Perfect.
Honestly, AI story
Yeah.
submissions would be interesting, but only if we're looking for those. And the thing is that all of the current, ChatGPT, Bing, whatever, have been trained on people's work involuntarily. So there's the ethical issue there. Like it's trying to, seeing if an AI story can hold up over like a long multi-chapter book. I think like looking at that graph as far as how people consider the usefulness of that to be going up, we have at least a year or two ahead of us where this thing is going to get really, really good. More like Rick and Mortis asked, how did they know that these submissions were from AI? And they didn't specifically say. There are tools for checking out if something matches up with data sets that ChatGPT and so forth is.
You've said a few things that have caught more like rigor mortis's attention, and you must answer them.
Sure.
Apologies to interrupt the
No, that's okay.
one statement. But
Hold on, where was I?
how do they know
Yes,
their
there are
submissions?
tools that check the data set that ChatGPT and so forth have been trained on, but those also yield false negatives, which is to say it lets through something that was actually generated on AI.
Yeah.
Even worse, false positives. Maybe someone with like, some spelling errors or just talking in a way that AI duplicates a lot.
Yeah.
Define trained on people's work involuntarily. It's the kind of thing, the same thing with AI art, where Midjourney and DALL-E were trained on data sets off of like DeviantArt and everything like that, where the artist didn't say that, yes, you can use my work to train an AI to make art like I do. So same thing with ChatGPT. Very few people said, yes, you can use my written work, whether it's an essay or a piece of fiction or whatever, to train an AI to write like I do, thus putting me out of a job.
Yeah.
And so the ethics issue is a huge one, but more than that, like especially something like Clark's World, that is one of these things that is where new writers can cut their teeth and find audiences, whatever. If that gets saturated by AI, then that is a bunch of writers that just can't find audiences. Like that is a whole sector of how people can find publishing that is going to be very hard to work in as AI generated content just keeps saturating it.
By the way, I was not shown that chart ahead of time. I was actually threatened death because they were putting
true.
it in. To
You're
make
like,
sure...
hey, don't come back here. And then Steve said, I'll stab you.
That's or I'll kill you.
Oh, well, yeah.
Speaking of kill, how long has that Spider-Man car been there?
A long time.
Yeah.
A long time. AI usually trained on very large data corpuses, which can encompass published work online. It's possible that AO3 and even traditional publishing, that there's fine print that allows the text to be used and stored and such. Yes, but again, it's something where sometimes it is like it is okay, a data set that can be used for that, but and it can be used to train AI. But when people had their work submitted to these things, it was not with the understanding that their work be used for that. So maybe legally it's okay, but socially and morally it's not. Anyway, yeah, like as, and so I brought up the question on the subreddit that I write on occasionally, and I read a lot of stuff on, like, hey, is there rules here about AI submissions? And they were like, it's covered under this rule. There's like this little line here. And sure enough, there's like discussion going on it. There's one or two people saying like, yeah, I'd be fine reading that. And then other people who are writers who kind of feel threatened by, the idea of the place getting saturated by AI work rather than human written work are like, yeah, it's definitely not something, it is against the rules, and it's something that we as a community are trying to avoid because ultimately it's about the writer. So yeah, now that we've had that, Dave, what are we eating today?
Well,
Which is a weird way to say that. What snack are we sampling today, Dave?
chat voted 0% for Perennial Loser Cherry Jubilee Thin Mints.
I'm assuming those don't even exist anymore.
The mystery box garnered 14%. It's been quite a few weeks since I've swapped out what's in the mystery box, so I really have to check expiry dates. And 86% of you chose grass. So if you voted for grass, enjoy your channel points that you are now about to receive. And so I present it for your Oculuses and your Branage. What you voted for: Easter grass bubblegum.
Dave, what is its flavor supposed to be?
I believe rabbit. If we're looking at the picture.
That is not what I expected you to say.
Well, I mean, I didn't read it, but there's a picture of a bunny. And what does the bunny have to do with the grass that we're eating? Stripes of
The
fruit
Easter
flavored
bunny,
bubble
David.
gum.
Stripes of fruit, but nope. I've had fruit stripe before. I'm not interested in a 3-second taste experience.
It is neon green, like regular old.
Yeah, like bubble gum is
There you go,
apparently.
Steve.
Thank you for the
What
little
the?
thing of
That is
Big
just.
League Chew.
Here you go, Boater. A handful of green Big League
Ah.
Chew.
It smells like watermelon.
It does. Yeah, that's what that is. That's watermelon flavor. You gave me a lot.
Mr. Wet, smoke it. Hey, that is also against TOS.
I'll do that tomorrow with
Is it?
Dreams.
Huh?
Is it?
Officially acknowledging illegal
Oh, okay.
substances.
Oh, but what if not illegal in that state?
Then as long as you don't get blitzed out of your mind.
Cool. It has cash or Easter grass bubble gum. Yeah, okay. So the texture has a big problem. It Boater, don't say it like that.
Can any of you guys blow a bubble?
Yeah. There's isn't great gum for bubbles. Oh, well, need more. It goes limp really fast. Like it lost volume really quickly.
Well, you know,
It
there's
shrinks
pills
out
for that.
Easily, like it hooks on your teeth, it just easily shrinks out.
There's pills for both of those issues.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was gonna say that it did its thing and then went limp. So
There's pills for that too. Which is tonight's sponsor, Better RX.
Thank God. For
See that Better
Viagra.
RX? You could have had a sale.
yeah, works all right.
There are so many That's What She Says every time Boater streams. It's the best.
The thing is that my brain comes up with them and then I usually filter them out. But sometimes I say, no, let's have some fun. Let's do this.
I am not going to swallow it because I'm pretty sure it's actually made of grass.
Not a fan? You gave me a lot. He took like an entire pack of Wrigley's worth into each of our hands.
Answer the question, when it comes back out, it's also green.
'Tis what she proclaimed. Anyway, Dave, what else we got?
Well, today we learned that Microsoft had inked a 10-year deal to bring Call of Duty
That's just me.
in full. Not in a modified version, not an adjusted version, not a Nintendo version. A full-on, it's in on Microsoft consoles, it's going to be COD on Nintendo to Nintendo. They did spend a whole lot of time hemming and hawing to try to get the British government, the UK government, excuse me, and Steve, I am glad you asked because the answer was vague and not at all clear. But my response to you shall be, we shall see. But they were very...
So this was at, like, hearings, right? As far as the...
Nope, press conference.
Press conference, okay.
Yes. An official Microsoft press conference where some of the representatives were leaving the room to go discuss with other politicians. And then as things were spoken about and developed, they... multiplayers and zombies only, JK. I mean, that would be a workaround. That would be a workaround.
So, like, it's been a little while since there's been Call of Duty on a Nintendo console.
Wii U.
Yeah, and it always feels like, even when it's pretty close, it's still kind of nerfed. And so it might be like, first off, would it even come out on Switch, or would it be like for the Switch 2 or whatever ends up coming next?
People were speculating that it would be for whatever's coming after the Switch.
So, Dave, I have a question for you, because
Yes.
the sources I found talking about it, and I didn't follow this back to the original source, and that's my mistake. Did they specify Call of Duty? Because some of the stuff I saw said just Xbox games, so not just Call of Duty, but like other games that Microsoft publishes. So yes, while COD is the big one, the one that Sony's making a huge fuss about, there's potentially other games that release on Xbox, whether they are ones that we look at as exclusives now or not, that could make their way to Nintendo consoles same day too, not even like timed exclusive. Like, yeah, Hi-Fi Rush is here for a year and then you get it.
It did seem like they did specify Call of Duty among others.
Okay.
And the deal that they announced also included the fact that Microsoft is making a deal with NVIDIA, either in the terms of acquisition or in the terms of partnering for Microsoft products going forward.
Okay.
This was part of that press conference that they called press briefing, excuse me.
Yeah.
Where the tone and tenor of the press briefing was, look at all these people who want to work with Microsoft, except for Sony.
Yeah.
And in fairness, and if you've been on the internet for more than 10 minutes at any point, you know that Sony is now in full. This deal is not going through, and we're not going to budge our laurels.
They are full union busting employer going on it. Yeah. The whole, they feel very threatened by the deal, and again, it's big merger's bad. Sony is playing the Microsoft is a bigger company than we are, and this would make them even bigger, but true. However, in the video game market, Sony is by far the leader, and Microsoft would secure their second place position with this. I think they're like third place behind Nintendo even, as far as market share goes.
I would dare say. I would.
Yeah. So Sony is playing but it's Microsoft, the big boogeyman of mergers.
Ooh, mergy boogie.
So I've talked about my complicated feelings about this thing before. We don't need to fully rehash it, but interesting at least that it's like, this wasn't just a spoken thing. This is a signed, binding agreement with Nintendo for Call of Duty and other games to be on their consoles with equal prominence for 10 years.
Speaking of being bitter and stomping your feet, because Sony is giving Blizzard and Activision and King and Microsoft the cold shoulder, they're also giving Nerd Glasses the cold shoulder, because they announced that they were going to be doing a PlayStation State of Play, not on a Monday, not on a Tuesday.
Not in a way that's easy for us to cover it and get a bit of a scoop.
But on Thursday.
Thursday.
And they're going to be doing that What could be announced? I have every feeling it's talking about the future of PlayStation VR 2. And I have a feeling it's going to be pretty much about that. Like,
Lily's show is on Friday, right?
Yes.
Well, good. She's got the scoop.
Lily's news at 5 on Insane Games TV. If PlayStation says anything of note, Lily will cover it and will rake over the coals next Tuesday. But February 27th, speaking of promotion hemming and hawing, don't miss out because it'll be Pokemon Day. February 27th on the official Pokemon YouTube channel at 2 p.m. European time. And what that is in America, I don't know.
If it's Central European time, that is GMT +1. So that would be 6 hours out for us.
6 Pacific, 9 Eastern.
So,
Okay.
go. Oh, cool. Thank you. 9 o'clock Eastern time, they're having the Pokemon Day celebration. They announced a 20-minute stream talking about future of Pokemon and things that are be coming out and all these things. And I will say that
To not restream it, otherwise you're going to get banned because Nintendo
yes,
don't take
oh
kindly
my
to
god.
that.
But the video opening for the at Vaporeon.com at 2 p.m. Got it. Oh no.
I'm not clicking that link. I'm gonna click that link.
Don't click that link, Mr. Wetput.
I'm clicking that link.
I don't think he intentionally put it, but
It's on Dan.com!
what? All right. So the graphic opened with old Pokemon sprites and a
I saw the domain is available for
From
$2,500.
Dan.com.
I don't know the significance of Dan.com.
I saw this funny.
our,
Okay, because
our
Dan.
chief
okay.
content creation here, Dan. Taco Pill, it's for sale. Get on it, Griff Kuba.
For
Get on it.
$2,495, Vaporeon.com could be yours. Be late to that meme.
We can redirect it to Insane Games TV.
No.
Yes.
No, we don't
Yes.
want. I would rather they just spend $2,500 on literally so many other things.
Like $69 for the Coalition for App Fairness. Is that still a thing?
It is. I do check it every week just in case. It's still a thing. They're still pretty bitter about Apple, but they are kind of moving on. They're now starting to
good
get
for
more
them.
hemmy and hawey about the internet, but they don't have any opinions on the Activision Blizzard King merger. However, we're looking at Pokemon Day. The announcement itself had the original introduction theme. So dun 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 dun, dun, playing in the original Game Boy sound, and the original sprite swirling around that then became a Pokeball, and then Pikachu popped up and the children cheered, and I died a little bit on the inside. But Pokemon Day, February 27th, in perfect time for us as the Nerd Glasses podcast to get excited.
Cool.
Spoiler,
That one
I
we
have
can
a
cover.
feeling they will be talking about the Pokemon set 150 that will be coming out as well. But that and so much more. What do you got?
Bungie, do you remember that they ended up suing a website that...
In 2021, they did in
got
fact
it.
sue AIM Junkies.
And so at first, AIM Junkies got the suit thrown out for the grounds that it was on. So Bungie resued with different stakes. I guess they were able to do, or they appealed with a different something. I don't know. The point is that it went a lot worse for AIM Junkies this time around. Phoenix Digital Group, which runs the site, was ordered to pay over $3.6 million in damages and an additional over $700,000 in legal expenses. The court found that a developer had reverse engineered game code and also circumvented bans in order to get into the game and to download it, which all of that's against the EULA, and all of that is apparently stuff that can actually get you trouble in court. Go figure. The judge also noted that Phoenix Digital Group was uncooperative throughout the entire process and had, quote, deleted records of cheat software and destroyed financial records related to the sales of the cheats. And all of that...
Once you're hosed, just stop. Like,
And in trying to get rid of all that stuff, the punishment was made even stiffer. Like, it didn't have to be $3.6 million in damages, but it was $2,500 for each of the 1,361 violations, presumably meaning sales.
Bungie has had a busy court week because they also closed on a suit against Lavi cheats in a smaller pursuit of $2,000 per each of the 2,790 cheat softwares that the site sold. Much smaller numbers, much more going to hurt them.
Hold on, how much did you say? That was
They were pursuing $2,000 per each of the reported 2,790 cheats from a different company, not Aim Junkies.
Probably adds up to more, because that's a little bit less money, but for a lot more sales.
Yes.
Cool.
So Bungie's going to be making some really nice things on some really nice plush chairs going forward.
Yeah, there's going to be some good Christmases at Bungie this year.
I know what you're thinking to yourselves. How do I get into some of this company money? Well, fear ye not, because June 2nd, Street Fighter 6 is coming out, and they announced that the Capcom Cup, which is going to be supported by Street Fighter 6, is going to have. You know what? I'm gonna math game you. Capcom Cup 9 last year had a grand prize for the first place winner of the Capcom Cup of $300,000.
Okay.
How much do you think they are giving this year?
After inflation takes in effect, they're going to say it's the same amount, but it's only worth 3 pennies. No, I'm going to say 500,000 this year.
This year, they are opening up them purse strings. They are reaching deep down into your pockets
700,000?
to get you to buy those games to compete, because they are giving away $1 million to the first place winner of the Capcom Cup. Capcom Cup 10. It's going to be insanity, and I cannot wait to see it start streaming after June. I know I'll be keeping an eye on it, because $1 million for a lot of fighting game winners who win $500,000 at one go, $300,000 in one go, things like that. But like $1 million in one go, it is the richest prize for a fighting game tournament thusly.
Yeah.
So I personally feel a little bad because of all the fighting games that are Street Fighter, in my opinion. Ready for a hot take?
Hold on. Need to make sure that I'm all fireproofed here. Do it up. Hi, Conspiracy Baseball.
Street Fighter, the stupidest fighting game franchise. Done.
Whoa!
Throw out your games, buy yourself a copy of Tekken, and grow up.
Oh my god.
Bam! Kojima is not involved.
Oh my god.
But I'll say it. And my opinion's worth nothing. I don't competitively play fighting games. But
in light of all the fighting games out there, Street Fighter.
Worst. I have tried to get into that. I tried playing Street Fighter 5. I tried playing 4. I tried playing 4 Deluxe. I bought so many Street Fighter games to try to play that against my friends and family and things, and just stupid combos, hate it, and all that going on. So I'm out, and I'm not at all interested in Street Fighter and the goings-ons with that. More like rigor mortis. Trash night. See y'all next week. Much love, more like rigor mortis. Mr. Wet with the lol, whoa, agreed. That's so funny. But yeah, that's my blistering hot take of the day of the stream. And thank you, Conspiracy Baseball, for coming and helping blow Boater's mind with the fact that Street Fighter, hot water garbage.
Mortal Kombat number 1, says Mr. Wet.
I wouldn't say that Mortal Kombat is better than Tekken, but arguments could be made, cases could be done, and he is the Insane Games fighting champion, so I have to defer.
For now.
Soul
Steve's-
Calibur 2 on the Xbox with Spawn.
Okay.
I don't play fighting games. I've played that, and I've played BlazBlue Calamity Trigger, and that's it.
Smash Bros. Says Taco Pill. I'm very glad we could generate a little bit of
Obviously, multiverses.
Steve, you have to do something to get the champion's attention. You got to be streaming a fighting game. You can't just lay out challenges for no reason. You can't just walk in off the streets and go to a lord and a laird and go, I challenge you for your fiefdom. Like,
especially when apparently you already tried that and the Lord just whooped you.
Nope. You beat me once. I beat him multiple times before that.
I'm sure.
It's on behind the counter somewhere.
Mr. Wet, one-way ticket to Pound Town, USA,
All
and
right.
I'm inclined to believe the current reigning, defending Insane Games fighting game champion,
I
Mr.
beat him
Wet.
plenty of times before then. Yeah, that's called juicing up your confidence so that when it was a title match, he whooped your ass. That's called sandbagging, Mr. Wet. Good job.
Mr. Wet, a gentle giant among giants, but he certainly is somebody that would go easy until you start getting real sweaty about it, and then he just kind of nods.
It's like,
and-
oh, we're taking this serious now? I won.
By the
You
way,
barely looked at the screen. Yeah, I did long enough to see. Hold on, rematch? I won.
I do want to put out there that I will be streaming in the near future a little bit of Pokken tournament. I was finally able to track down a physical copy for myself for my Switch, and so Mr. Wet, he couldn't handle Kazuya and the boys. Mr. Wet and Dudek are going. Whoa! 1v1 me scrub. Oh, them's fightingest of words, and holy unearned fighting words.
Folks, I suggest clearing your browser histories. Otherwise, we're going to be called into the trial of a murder.
Excellent. Speaking of excellent things and gaming and our histories, there's a new indie horror studio that has come out. The president of it is Zach Wood.
You stay back there.
He was one of the
Don't.
producers on Unfinished
Don't.
Swan, and some folks who also
Don't.
formerly worked for Sony. This studio is actually coming from the folks at Blumhouse, who have created the Paranormal Activity movies, the Purge films,
Okay.
the film Get Out, Sinister, and Insidious. So they have quite a history of storytelling, of creating movies,
Okay.
and doing these things, and they are now making Blumhouse games. They will not be putting hundreds of millions of dollars of budget into it, so it's not going to be, the next big AAA developer. But
A Bloomhouse starts with the same syllable as blue box, and that means that it's no, you're making a mess of the set. You stay back there. Continue.
But that was it. Blumhouse Games.
Okay.
I'm really glad
Good.
that that the spirit of
I need sleep, David.
By the way, you know what? You've unlocked a story by saying that.
Okay.
I could tell that one of our bosses here on the network started watching Schitt's Creek because he changed how he addressed me from Dave to David. And I immediately knew what he was watching because the first time he said it, I went, did I biff it real bad that he would have said it? And then he said it again in casual context, and I was like, I know where he's at. So I asked him one day, I'm like, Danny, you watching Schitt's Creek? And he goes, yeah, how'd you know that? I go, well, because you're calling me David now.
That's amazing.
Speaking of things that are amazing, once again, and to no one's surprise,
You've used that segue 3 times tonight.
Oh, yes.
Give me that pillow.
The wheels haven't fallen off that segue, so I'm going to keep riding it. Ubisoft CEO certainly put his foot in his mouth when
Oh,
people asked him,
hell.
hey, are you guys going to be featuring any content at E3? And do you know what his response immediately was?
Fuck E3.
If E3 happens.
Oh my god!
Yes. It was bad. It was bad. And so E3 kind of went to him and we're kind of like, what the hell? And so
That is, oh my god, that's just fucking flopping your steel ball bearings on the table for everybody to see. Holy shit.
So Ubisoft has had to put out a whole mess of let's make this
God.
feel better instances, confirming that yes, they are very excited to be a part of E3. They will be at E3, not in an adjacent theater, not doing any things, and they have where a quote strong lineup for E3. I can't wait to see, because you would think that the CEO almost has to go to E3
Sure.
to make presentations for the company if that's going to be one of their major announcements and things. But if he shows up, I really hope he acknowledges. He's like, "Wow, it actually happened. I'm proud of it." Like this and that and the other.
To save face, I don't know. I feel like I don't really remember Ubisoft pressers at E3 of the past. Like I don't remember exactly how they've gone. Like, has the CEO been one to be there? I feel like with developers, sure. With publishers, not really. Like, how much did Bobo actually show up at E3 to give some sort of presser? Yeah, exactly. So, like, I think development studio heads and directors are the ones doing the E3 stuff, not the head of Ubisoft. Can't afford the plane ticket, so.
It's true. It's true. Affording plane tickets, life's getting more expensive. What up, Red Mage? And Sega is here to answer the call, because in an exact contrast to Mike Ybarra, president at Blizzard, announcing, where this is a two-pronger story. Blizzard announced that they were Mike Ybarra sat down and answered pre-screened questions because, as you do when there's actually issues, he made some side-of-the-mouth comments about, if you think executives are making so much money, you live on a different planet. They announced how they are shifting back to a office environment, and they are cutting a lot of the sales, like incentives or bonuses for certain employees and certain pay groups and things like that.
Cool. Scaling back on anything that makes quality of life at Blizzard halfway decent.
And he said, and I quote during the meetings, to the effect of multiple different phrasings of, if you don't like it, you can work somewhere else. So
I'm just not buying another Blizzard game ever, am I?
Blizzard doubled down on it and saying they were proud of how Mike Ybarra handled this press conference in such a tough time.
Fucking God, I'm gonna throw up.
In contrast to that, Sega announced that they are going to raise their staff's pay by 30%
Ooh.
across the board.
That was an ooh so good that I did it twice, just only vocally one time.
It is looking like it is full-time staff only.
Right, yeah,
certain
not the
equivalent,
contractors and such. Yeah.
But they are going to be offering incentive programs, and they are going to be putting more money and resources into their HR, putting more money and resources into their employees, and making sure their employees are aware of, these are what the things we're expecting from you, and here's what you need at the end of the day, and here's what you can expect from us and what we need to provide you with at the end of the day. It's almost like Sega is looking at what Blizzard's doing, and they're going, let's do the exact opposite of everything they're doing.
What's your game plan? Not that.
Not that dumpster fire, thank you very much.
Whatever those guys are doing, not to do that.
Sega! Exactly.
Bling, bling.
One more stinger teaser
one
that I'm
more.
very excited for, and it's that you've heard me talk about this playing with Love Alec and the crew there. Valheim is coming to the Xbox Series X and Game Pass on March 14th.
All right.
It's going to be full crossplay with the PC version, so if you've already got a world going there, you can have some of your friends who don't have a gaming PC or ability to do that hop in and join you on adventures. And they announced that the new expansion, the Ashlands, is still in pre-production. But good on them, and I'm really excited that Valheim is going to become more available to many more folks. Maybe a Sony IP eventually. Maybe. Possibly. I'll continue to hold my breath. But you know what you don't have to hold your breath on, Boater?
Would that be the Shack after Nerd Glasses tonight?
Exactly.
Where Steve's going to finish playing Car Quest, right?
No, he's not. He's done with Car Quest forever.
Nope. He's
The
got to
game
finish
is
Car
done
Quest.
forever.
He's still working on finishing Car Quest.
We are going to be playing the 4K remaster
Of Car Quest.
Crypt of the Serpent King. I don't know why I want to say Crypt of the Necrodancer, but Crypt of the Serpent King. Steve left here to go get something as a stanky drink, but I have a feeling it's not. Mr. Wet, don't feel into this. No, you're supposed to be on my side, not the side of Conquest. No, I've lost everything.
Car Quest.
Once it gets released on the PlayStation, I will immediately buy it. We will stream it.
Car Shack.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Car Shack.
Everyone's dancing when I necromancing. But I am going to drop in a link of this is something that's likely going to be discussed during Pokemon Day, but something that they have the information out now on. If you have Scarlet and Violet, here are the updates you can be looking forward to at some point at some time. So loud, because they don't have a release date for it.
Okay.
But it is a lot of quality of life stuff that will help make Scarlet and Violet less of a, hey, we had to rush this game out because we had to make 3 Pokemon games in a year sort of deal.
Nice. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what sort of things we get during that and whatever else comes up during the week. If you want to see that, obviously keep your eyes open. But if you don't get the chance to, then come right back here for Nerd Glasses Podcast next week, where we bring you whatever news we have time to bring you. Which actually we had a pretty full slate this week with news. Sometimes we end up talking about other things, and we get maybe one story in. So
Still have a whole page of stories that I did not use,
and
but
that will
that's
make
okay.
it to tabled topics and other fine purveyors of such that you can find Dave at in Discord. So make sure that you check out our Discord link below. In the meantime, make sure that you stick around here for the Shack, where Steve is going to be playing Car Quest. Or whatever.
More Car Quest.
And follow here for a bunch of awesome creators every day of the week. We hope to see you next week, 7:45 Eastern, right here at Insane Games TV for the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I've been Boater.
I've been Dave Man.
And it's nap time. Good night, everybody.